Polymarket had made a post this past weekend breaking the odds of Trump saying the N-word in November surged to 17% chance. And now, according to trending data on X, it's surging as high as 23%. Everybody's talking about it. What could possibly make Donald Trump, the president of these United States, drop the N? He's not gonna. It's a lie. And this is actually really interesting because Polymarket's statement opens the door to some very serious problems with their platform. Let me break it down for you. Polymarket says the odds of Trump saying the, quote, N-word in November surged by 17% chance. Now, I am not absolutely certain, but my understanding is not that Trump will say the N-word, which is to imply dropping a racial slur, but that in fact, Donald Trump will say the phrase N-word in reference to nuclear. That's my general understanding. And by putting this up, they're creating a very interesting problem. If people don't know what they're betting on, then they're going to get in trouble. If people genuinely believe this is a bet that Trump will drop a racial slur, well then, they got to pay out if he does or doesn't. And the odds are based on whether Trump says a racial slur or not. The chance of Donald Trump actually dropping the legitimate racial slur is 0%. It will never happen. But let me show you the data and break down exactly what everyone is saying. Before we do, however, we got a great sponsor. It is AmericanFinancing.net. Check out AmericanFinancing.net/Tim. The Fed just dropped interest rates again, and that's really great news for American homeowners. If you're feeling overwhelmed thinking about the upcoming holidays, there's no better time than now to get your finances in order. It's hard to think about the holidays when everything's really expensive and your credit cards are already pushed to the max. With rates dropping, now is the time to pay off that debt. American Financing is helping homeowners access the equity in their home for instant savings. They are saving people like you an average of $800 a month, and many are seeing rates in the low fives. It's a game changer compared to those sky-high credit cards. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments, giving you extra breathing room for the holidays. It costs absolutely nothing to find out how much you can save. The holidays are going to be here before you know it, so don't wait. Call their salary-based mortgage consultants today, American Financing at 866-890-7811. That's 866-890-7811, or visit AmericanFinancing.net/Tim. Let's jump to Polymarket, and I'll show you what we got. Here we go. What will Trump say in November? So for those that don't understand how Polymarket works, it's not so much betting as it is buying shares of an event. They're called event contracts. So the way it works is I can buy, what will Trump say in November? He's got a whole month. So mustache. Will he utter the word mustache? There's a 29% chance he will. What I want to say is really weird about this for me is I'm like, can I reach out to them and say, hey, Trump, say mustache? You know what I mean? And then Trump will just film himself going, mustache, and that's it. And then I get paid. Anyway, I digress. If you buy a share of yes in mustache, then if Trump says mustache, it becomes 100%, and then you will get $1 back per share. So if you buy yes for 34 cents, Trump says it, you're getting $1 back, so you make money. If you buy no, he won't say it, 76 cents per share. If he doesn't say it, you'll get $1 back. If he does, you'll lose it all. Now, here's where it's interesting. It's not really gambling in the same sense as sports betting or in any meaningful sense, because I can buy a share of yes, he will say mustache. A week from now, Trump may get close to saying it for some reason, or Barron will grow a mustache, and the chances will skyrocket that he will say it, and I can then sell those shares at a profit. Meaning, it didn't even happen yet, I just sold off my probability. So here's where we go. Steroid, Pope, Crooked Joe, Banana Republic. All of these phrases are options, but there's no real money behind them. Mustache, there's only $451 in that market. Bitcoin, $1,000. However, N-word has 35,774. So how do we win? We scroll down and it says rules. This market will resolve to the yes if Donald Trump mentions the listed term between November 1st and November 30th. Pluralization possessive of the word will count. Instances where the term is used in a compound word will count regardless of context. For instance, joyful is not a compound word for joy. However, killjoy is compounding the words kill and joy. If the market requires a specified number of mentions of a person's last name, a full name mention will count as one mention. A mention will include any verbal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so where are we? So according to X, Polymarket odds hit 22 on Trump uttering N-word in November, but hold on. They're saying, Trump does this. He goes, they get mad if you say you can't say the N-word. Nuclear, you can't say it. Yeah, he doesn't mean the slur. Prediction market Polymarket attracted over $42,000 in bets on whether Trump will verbally use the N-word in a public audio or video statement between November 1st and 30th, with odds rising to 22 following viral post on X. The market specifies exact verbal utterance of the racial slur, excluding written content or mispronunciation like nuclear, amid Trump's public record showing no verified instances of the term. X reactions blend sarcasm, confusion over nuclear references, and widespread bet against the outcome, highlighting the platform's role in politicizing wagering. Okay, here's the problem. So here's why this is interesting. In common parlance, we never actually say what the N-word is. It's wrong and it's offensive. And so what is the N-word? Why, were you to ask our friends at ChatGPT, it'll just say N-word is a slur. Really? So if I said N-word like that, no. The N-word is a reference to a word that begins with the letter N. Well, which is it, my friends? Which word do you refer? Here's the problem. Thanksgiving. What will Trump say in November? Thanksgiving. What does that mean? What word does that represent? If the argument is that every single word or phrase in this list must be spoken verbatim, then N-word is not the slur, but the phrase N-word, which makes sense that people are buying shares of it because Trump says this. However, Polymarket wrote the N-word, which is a reference to the slur, to which X actually wrote, or I would argue this is probably Grok, uses the N-word, and he must utter the racial slur. Y'all are in trouble. Polymarket, you got to come out and clarify this, and you got to clarify what word is and is not included in this. But Tim, you say, that means Polymarket will have to actually tweet out the N-word. Indeed, they will have to. And that's the game that they chose to play. Polymarket, listen, I'm not going to play this game. I don't buy this stuff. But I'm willing to bet there's going to be people who bought this because they thought it was the slur. So they bought no at 80 cents. He won't say the N-word. I can't believe 22 cents to say he would say it. That's crazy. That's 0%. Trump's not going to spit out a racial slur. It's not going to happen. The problem is, if I buy no, because there's no way Trump's going to say a racial slur, and then Trump says N-word for nuclear, and you tell me I lost, I ain't playing that game, and I don't think many people would. They got themselves a problem. The point is this. On X, they said the N-word, which if you ask any system, any AI, any dictionary, the N-word refers to the slur. However, Polymarket itself just says phrase N-word. And the rule is uttering the listed term. So IQ test, waitress, ice cream. Would ice cream resolve if, no. No, ice cream's a reference to chocolate ice cream. Doesn't say that, just says the phrase ice cream. Elon or Musk, Tylenol, Ethiopia, Uruguay. There's only one veiled reference. So I'm going to say it like this. The problem we face in this country is that people will not say what N-word really means. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to say it on YouTube and get the video just taken down because the ideas that I'm trying to convey to you wouldn't be conveyed to you. Polymarket is their own platform. They can publish the word and say, Trump will say this phrase. We can't live this way if you're not allowed to describe what the word is. And so I throw some shit at YouTube. I have no desire to insult a person based on their race. But the idea that you can't describe the word without getting banned, censored, or otherwise is problematic for trying to describe what's happening in this country. But hey, you do you, YouTube and Polymarket and whatever. And I'll tell you this. If Trump says nuclear, well, hold on. They wrote N-word, right? Trump says the N-word is nuclear. So the question is N-word on this list innuendo? If it is, whose? Because Trump has repeatedly said N-word means nuclear, not the slur. So which is it? That's why they're in trouble when they go on X and they put the racial slur. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Funny either way. Smash the like button. Share the show. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all in the next segment.